Now, it's about 14 years since AGOA was first formed. We are quickly heading to the 15-year mark, which should mark the close of AGOA. General consensus has it that it hasn't achieved its objectives. What are your sentiments?
The assumption of AGOA was based on the East Asian development, export-led development model, where if you look at these Asian countries, they all started with this labor-intensive exports of garments and electronics assembly, targeting the US market, mostly, and subsequently European markets. And then they were able to use that export-led industrialization to catapult themselves into where they are today. But Asia and Africa are very different structurally. So the assumption that Africa could replicate the Asian model. And that's the one assumption. And secondly, that the barrier for Africa becoming export-led was actually that trade barriers were significant. Over the next 10 years, it is conceivable that some African countries can actually leverage on AGOA and catapult themselves.
Now, you've mentioned the fundamental changes in the Asian economy and how that impacted trade relations with the US and other trading partners. What can we learn from that particular situation?
Africa is relatively rich in land and resources, not labor. Asia is relatively labor-rich and resource-poor. If you actually look strategically at where our economic and trade interests and where the world is going, that doesn't seem to be where our efforts are directed.
There are cases of success where Africa has traded with the world, for instance, Europe. Are there lessons that we as a continent can pick from such relations and apply to trade relations with the US?
The two biggest drivers of trade are geography and size of economies. Countries trade with the countries nearest to them, and you see more trade flows between countries of similar size. The bigger, the more trade you see. And so if you look at all these north-south initiatives, they're trying to swim upstream. Not only are they too many, they're swimming upstream. So like now, for instance, as of now, Kenya's fastest growing trading partner is Somalia. The opportunities to grow trade within the region are still tremendous. And then when you come out of the immediate neighborhood, I think the next big trading partner potentially we should be looking at, and it's growing as well, is the Near East, the Gulf, the GCC countries, for instance. So you see a lot of activity around these north-south initiatives, which are going against the natural flow of trade, and you don't see enough initiatives that go with the flow.